Hey, it's me, WWE Hall of Famer from the LOD, Road Warrior Animal. And you.
Yeah, I gotta do this when? Now? I'm watching a match. What is now? Now is it? Oh, now. Yeah, thanks. Hey, this is the Pharaoh from Monty and the Pharaoh. I just want to say thank you to our subscribers as we now have hit the 10,000 plateau. Thank you to all our subscribers out there. But I'm going to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged YouTube Monty and the Pharaoh member. Yes, that's right, folks. You can check it out. We've got 3 different levels. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. There's all sorts of perks for our members. There is nothing more we enjoy than giving you this program. And to do that, we need your support, and we appreciate your support. This is Jimmy Pharaoh, and don't forget to check out Monty and the Pharaoh every Thursday from Indie Music TV and on Cablevision here locally in New York. Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. Later. Is that good enough for you? Can I finish this? Lesnar's killing him. I'm pissed.
Alright, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty and the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. At the board, the now infamous, or maybe shall we say famous, the most famous producer of all television broadcasts, Mr. Matty Ice. How are you, Matty?
Doing great as always. How are you?
Oh, Matty, I gotta tell you, gotta give you a lot of credit. You know, sometimes we're under the gun due to lack of preparation on not even the Pharaoh's end.
What?
But
Not even the Pharaohs?
I'm
Common Cause?
No.
Okay.
I want to not give you the blame.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know, on
Well,
my
hey,
end
buddy.
for some disorganization.
Your end? What
and
did you
Matty,
do?
And Matty Ice, he just recovers quickly and gets the job done,
He's
Matty.
smooth. He's smooth. He's Matty Ice. Ice is smooth.
As he's putting the headphones on.
Yes.
As he's getting the microphone on.
I'm great.
All right. Well, since we got that going on, to the right of me is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, brother?
I'm here, so I'm okay. What's going on?
You know, the same old, same old. Listen, thank you
right.
for reminding me.
What? What?
Gavin McLeod passed away.
Ooh, love, exciting
Thank you very
and
much
new.
for reminding me what's
Yeah.
going on with that, my friend. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
it's
guys.
just-
I'm trying to get my shit together.
It's just
Henry 407. Good evening from Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Joe Shipley. What's up, my friend? And there's our main man, 802 Blues.
Nice.
What's up, Modern Day Warrior? Hey, brother.
Modern Day Warrior.
802, man. Listen, I'm sorry. I've just been disorganized. Your package has been ready for the ship for over a week, man. So, bro, forgive me. Gonna give you a little something extra in
What's
the package.
he waiting on? A Monty and the Pharaoh wristwatch or something?
He's getting a new Jack. He's a member. He's getting a new Jack autograph.
Ooh, nice.
And I want to send him a Monty and the Pharaoh
Okay.
COVID mask on top of that.
Oh, okay.
And maybe I'm going to throw a T-shirt in there, too. Anyway, back to Gavin McLeod. What's going on?
No, just a bummer for us older folks. Yeah, that's right, us older folks. Gavin McLeod was the captain of a show during the 70s. Big hit, ran for probably, 7 seasons maybe. Just taking a wild guess. Hey, Matty, what's going on? That's Matty. Just
fixing
called The
my
Love Boat. And The
disorganization.
Love Boat was a great show. Before that, he played Murray in the newsroom on the Mary Tyler Moore
That's
Show.
right, that's right.
Which he was great on also. He's
Right.
just a face from our childhood, and he was an awesome memory. And he did make it to 90. That's a heck of a grade on the report card, so...
By the
Captain?
way, he was in King of Queens, by the way, too.
Oh, my God. Wow. Why am I drawing a blank? What's wrong with me?
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Did you watch King of Queens?
Somewhat, yeah. Yeah, I like King of Queens. That's good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. And what about B.J. Thomas? Can I throw him in quickly, too?
Absolutely. Throw him in.
B.J. Thomas, a great musician, passed away. I think he made it to 78 years old. He had a bunch of hits, once again, during our childhood, during the 70s. But, hey, this guy was a big-time star during his time period. Hooked on a Feeling.
Some songs?
Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. You know, Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song. Oh, my God, he had a bunch of hits, you know. So there goes a couple. Jeez, man. It's going around.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, life is going around. Folks.
Life equals death. Anyway, a lot of wrestling news.
How cheery! Life equals.
A lot of wrestling news.
Dracula. What else you got?
A lot of wrestling news going on, but I want to cover a few things, man. I think it's important. I need you to weigh in on, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, a Celtic, Kyrie Irving, a Celtic fan who allegedly threw a bottle at Kyrie Irving, banned from the arena, facing 10 years in prison. A fan, a Boston Celtics jersey, was charged with assault and battery with dangerous weapons after allegedly throwing a bottle of water
from a foot away
at the Brooklyn Nets player Kyrie Irving on Sunday's playoff game. Cole Buckley, let's just call his name out, number 21,
Cole Buckley
from Massachusetts, was arraigned on Wednesday and ordered to stay away from TD Gardens.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
Well, first of all, he's not going to go to prison for 10 years. That's just the nonsense that he could get, but he's not going to get that. He'll probably be fined something for tossing a water bottle from a foot away. Okay.
Modern Day Warrior says that was hilarious. Assault?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't...
Dude, come on.
It's not
I
my
want some
definition.
honest Pharaoh,
It's
bro.
not my definition of assault. It's my definition of stupidity.
So let me ask you this.
It's stupid. You shouldn't have done it.
Can Kyrie Irving go after a game in the middle, stand on the iconic... Now, I'm not a Celtic fan. We're Knicks fans.
Yeah, so what?
Stand on the iconic... Well, I want to make sure people don't think I'm a Boston
Are you talking
Celtic
about
fan.
Lucky, the mascot?
That's correct.
Are you talking about Lucky, who Kevin Garnett, legendary Celtic, by the way, actually was disgusted with the fact that Kylie Irving stepped on Lucky. Yeah, I thought that was pretty much, crap. But you know what I thought was more crap, Mike?
What's that?
I thought it was more crap when somebody put their opinion in a...
What was that opinion, Mr. Farrell?
What used to be known as editorials have now become obnoxious opinions. He decided that the Celtic logo, Lucky, is a hideous racial mascot. Here we go again. Now we're picking on Lucky. What the hell is wrong with Lucky? What did Lucky do? You know, I'm not getting it at all. Everything with Kyrie Irving, if you just listen to the guy, everything is about race. He described basketball players as animals in zoos, performing for people. Now, hold on a second. And you love your animals, don't you, partner?
Oh, I love animals.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that a basketball player who was given a God-given talent to bounce a ball
and get paid for it.
Get paid
millions of dollars.
Billions and take time off whenever he feels like it, citing whatever emotional trauma he claims to be going through to society's oppressions, okay? He's comparing it to an animal who's in a cage and can never leave it, is in the cage all the time, in rain, through sleet, is out there in the Bronx Zoo in the cage, has no freedoms whatsoever, doesn't get paid for it. What do they get, peanuts? The elephants are getting peanuts? Wow, they're so spoiled. You compare what you do for a living to an animal in a zoo. I will never watch another basketball game that he's involved in, and I ain't the only one.
How about any
basketball game? You know what? I was just saying that to the Bartman the other day. I could care less at this point.
If the NBA doesn't do something about this...
I could care less now about this at this point.
By the way,
it's not my fault, whatever you think you're going through, Mr. Kyrie Irving.
802,
F you!
802 says probably happened to Jordan and Pippen all the time, getting bottles thrown at them.
Right.
Modern Day Warrior, another bit of racism nonsense. It's crazy.
I can't take it anymore.
Henry 407 going back to Gavin says 9 seasons of Love Boat, and he's seen them all.
9 seasons, nice. I thought it was 7. Way to go, Gavin.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exciting and new.
So
Come aboard.
That's
We're
good.
expecting you. That show was awesome. And he gave us some great classic Monty and the Pharaoh episodes.
That's right, brother.
The Love Boat
The
was
Love Boat
great.
episode is a great
that was
episode of
fantastic.
Monty
Look
and
that
Pharaoh.
up, folks, on our YouTube channel, the Love Boat episode. Oh, my God.
By the way, it's not enough. Kyrie Irving says the Brooklyn Nets are uniting the whole world with their championship run. So
Yeah.
after all those nice comments,
Yeah.
we're uniting everybody together.
I got 2 words for him. Go Milwaukee! Boy, do I want the Bucks to win their first title since 1970 or whatever it was, 71, whatever it was, when Lou Alcindor was not Kareem Abdul yet. Oh, my God, please, Milwaukee, win. Send all these big-mouth delusional assholes home. Anyway, go on. I'm okay now.
I long for the days of Patrick
think.
Ewing and Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason and John Stark.
Yeah.
I long for the 80s and 90s where racism wasn't the focus
No.
on everybody.
On
you know,
every
Ice,
last thing.
Ice, you got your microphone on?
You know, it's important to discuss things like this, but under every pothole from here to freaking Lithuania? Enough! Go ahead, Matt.
Matty, you
Go
got
ahead,
your
Matt.
microphone on?
Does he? Dude, he's sipping a pina colada and smoking a doob. What are you doing over there?
A young man. We're a bit older than you, youngster.
We love
What
Matty
is
Ice.
what is your thoughts on what's happening in this country with all this racism
Come
as
on,
being
Matt.
the main focal point of what's going on?
Give
in
us
this
some
world?
gold from the youth. Come on, man.
I think it's very important to talk about the institutionalized racism in the country.
Under every pothole, though?
Yeah, that's the point.
Every pothole.
That's the point. Is that
Right.
It affects every pothole kind of thing.
Okay, so let me ask you
Okay.
this. So do you think unifying people is calling a whole state a bunch of racists?
Nah.
So
Okay. All right.
Or,
Let's hope for him.
or
Go on.
you know, look, no doubt there should be talk about social consciousness in this country
Yeah.
and the fear of the African American person, male, female, of what they have to go through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But when LeBron says, James says, every day he's scared to get in his car, quote, is that a little exaggerated by your point, or you think it's just got it?
I don't know because I'm not black, but also
You're
I
not?
like to say there's people who are very dramatic, no matter liberal, conservative, whatever. You know, I think you're just going to have these people who are just going to like spout these, really engaging topics.
All right, so can I ask you this question then? You go on Facebook, right?
No.
Not at all?
Good man. I mean,
yeah, I try to stay away from
All right,
social
but-
media.
yeah. You'll be
So
both.
on Facebook, they have that little video section where, lately they do this like employee shows boss what it's like to be a true leader, and they do these scripted videos. There's a lot of like stewardess teaches man about racism. How come it's always teaching the white man about racism and not teaching a black man or an Asian or a Jewish man about why is it always the white?
Because it's all your fault.
Christian.
You haven't heard? It's all your fault. This democracy thing and these equal rights, you started this. It's all your fault. You and your bright ideas. You stopped Hitler. What were you doing stopping Hitler for?
Well, I want to hear.
You
I want to
idiot.
hear the young man's
What were
point
you
of
thinking,
view.
stopping the Holocaust? You got some nerve.
There's a young privileged
Hey,
white
I'm
man,
being so
right?
sarcastic.
There's a young privileged
He's
white man, right
privileged?
there. Of course he
I
is.
thought he was black. Now he's... okay, go on, white privileged kid. Go on.
So,
Dank Warrior, what's up, big guy? Thank you for joining us tonight. A mess is back. What's up, brother?
what's the question again?
Okay, the question is this.
Over every
Why
pothole
is
all the
racism always white against black and not black against white, or Asian against white, or Jewish against
Because
white?
it's all our fault.
Well, I think
Hey.
it's because mainly there's a huge white majority. It's pretty much it, the people who feel.
So the story we tell is always at the majority end of it then.
Well, you're going to see more of the majority be targeted, yeah.
So whatever happened to the old 2 out of 3 ain't bad? 2 out of 3 is bad now?
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm talking... You said majority. I'm talking numbers. The old saying is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So now 2 out of 3 is bad. The majority's no good
All right,
no
well,
more.
let's get off our soapbox.
Yeah.
I'd like to I'd
said
like to
get
thank the
off.
band that sings the theme song for Monty and the Pharaoh, Wisteria Hall. led by our own Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs. They sing songs such as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro. Catch us on the Monty Nefaro YouTube page, the Monty Nefaro Facebook Live page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, the Monty Nefaro Twitch TV page, and also catch us on New York Cable on Channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30, and on Saturday for the early risers, 6 a.m. to 6:30, and catch us on Channel 20 from 2 a.m. to 2:30 a few hours from now. That's Friday morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break with this week's show, and don't forget, we've got head-to-head coming up, a little special program of The Ultimate Warrior versus Sting.
See you in a sec.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
Elm Logistics. For all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Start your own success.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty Nefaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in Long Island. Real quick question. Let me see what we got here. Jason Kessler says, who's going to win the Belmont Stakes on Saturday? You know,
No idea.
I got to tell you, Jason,
Can't
you're
say.
probably coming to the right place, because I just hit the triple not too long ago, at the Kentucky Derby, and I also hit the triple at the Preakness, but that wasn't paying.
We know one thing for sure: it's not going to be a horse owned by Bob Baffert.
Well, that's for sure. It comes up twice, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give you guys a little clue out here. You're gonna go with Max Player
Max
is gonna
Player.
win. Is gonna win the.
Would you get a tip from that guy, that little guy who calls you once in a while?
Stringer 10 says, "Love you guys, best show." Thank
Thanks,
you, guys.
brother.
Means a lot. Okay,
Thank
well, let's
you.
get to the action, guys.
Stringer
I
10.
mean, look, we're probably regurgitating stuff, but you got to hear it from the Pharaoh, because
What?
this is the guy that's going to
Oy.
get it straight.
I am. Oh,
WWE firings and the latest batch of stars to be moved on. The organization has let go of former world champion Braun Strowman, former cruiserweight champion Murphy, former NXT champion Alexa Black, Ruby Riott, Satana Garrett, and Lana.
Yeah, this is an interesting list. I got to be honest, Lana. Okay, fine.
Well, let's not get into that first. I want to discuss something first,
go ahead.
because we're going to go through the list with you, Pharaoh.
Sure.
And I want to get your weigh in on this.
Okay.
But here's what bothers me first of all.
Yeah.
Do you know a week before the WWE released or terminated 65 behind-the-scenes employees? I had not heard any broadcaster or any podcaster, screaming and crying.
Right.
Again, Braun Strowman was making $1.9 million a year, $1.5 million a year. What about the guy that was making $70,000 a year that's now on unemployment?
Right.
Where's the backlash for that if you're so angry about what's going on?
We never heard of them. We don't know who they are. It's not sexy enough to talk about.
Right, exactly.
There you go. That's why.
What are your feelings about that?
What, the 65 employees
Absolutely.
let go? I don't know Vince McMahon's business or his bank account. I don't know what their motivation was for it. If they did it for a reason. I don't know. Do I feel bad for those people? Sure, why not? You never want to see anybody lose their job. What am I supposed to do about it? Flip bacon? God damn.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Hey, you can see my whole head. What do you think?
All right.
It's not half cut off already.
First up, why don't you weigh in on Braun Strowman?
That's the one name I was going to say of this whole list. That's the one name that I'm actually very surprised about. I I'm very surprised about that. Braun Strowman, you know what? We had not said it. We had said it to ourselves not that long ago. He didn't even need a belt. He's over. Braun Strowman's over.
Was he over?
I think so, don't you? I think we had said that in the past. The guy doesn't even need a belt. He's pretty entertaining.
Farrell,
I
I give it a lot of thought about this.
I mean, he's not, the Ultimate Warrior or something, as we'll get to him later, but, I thought he was pretty over and doing well. Fans like him. He's been a world champion, There is one thing going against him, though, that most people may not recognize, and this could have had something to do with it. Did you know Braun's getting close to 40? I didn't know that.
Yep.
I always look at Braun like maybe he's 30 years old. He's not. He's
802 also brings up a good point.
Yeah. He's 37.
How's he going to get along in the Indies after his Indie comment on social media about people crying about their jobs?
I doubt Tony Khan's going to care about that. He's probably going to be running to him if he
You
hasn't
really
already.
think Braun's going to go to AEW?
Where else would he go? TNA?
Maybe he doesn't wrestle at all.
He may not want to.
I'm sorry. At 1.9 or 1.5 million dollars a year, you got a couple of years doing that.
I would probably chill for a year.
Why not?
Figure out what to do, and you never know. He may come back. Vince may have him come back.
You know what's funny though? I was
who
thinking
knows?
about this before we get on to the other people.
It is shocking though.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Notice, they were talking about third-party media, and WWE not wanting to allow third-party media.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Selena Vega is not even in people's minds anymore.
Right.
I understand she might be coming back to the organization, but
Right.
here's the point: once you get out of that limelight,
You're
and
out.
as angry as everybody is,
Yeah.
you're easily forgotten.
Yes.
Braun Strowman will not look.
Right.
Again,
most are easily forgotten. CM Punk is never forgotten. But
exactly.
yes,
The
most
Rock
are.
is never forgotten.
Right.
Stone Cold is never
Right,
forgotten.
correct.
But the majority of the
Are
listeners
forgotten.
are forgotten.
Absolutely.
I mean, hey, Braun, it was good to see you, but guess what? Is he worth 1.9? If you own that company, is he worth $1.9 million to you?
Yes.
Wow.
He is to me, but that's not a lot of money. Not for what the WWE makes, and I'm not criticizing them at all on letting him go.
We legitimately,
what they decided to do.
I
don't agree with it,
We
but-
legitimately own this company, right? And we hired a guy, Khan, to look over our financials, right? Because
Yeah.
whether folks they're going to sell
Yeah.
to NBC, Disney, that's up in the air, right? But there's certainly things going on where they're setting up to make the business
Listen,
look more
if you
attractive.
come to me and you give me this list, and we're talking budget, and we're talking who to get rid of and who not to, and you gave me these names, Strowman, Murphy, Black, Riot, Santana Garrett, and Lana, I would turn to you and say, I agree with every name except for Strowman. Get me two more that sound just like Santana Garrett and Ruby Riot, and we'll cut them instead, and we'll keep Braun.
And if I turned to you and said, hey,
That's what I would do.
you'd have to cut 4 people equal
Fine.
Strowman's. Really?
I bet you I could find 4 more people in the company who are not being effectively used, named just like these ones that they let go. They have a lot of, I've always said they've had 8 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag. So it's okay. It's who you let go. I don't care how many they have to let go. I believe that they've had an excess for a while because we both believe that the whole wrestling scene is overloaded with too much shit. There's too many wrestlers. I would prefer more quality and less of the quantity.
Here's stuff I don't hear, though, from all these famous people like Busted Open, LaGreca, or the Bully Ray. Exactly.
I don't know who you're talking about. Go
My
on.
point is, look, in today's society, just like baseball
Yeah.
or basketball, it's
Yeah.
done on analytics.
Sure.
For all you know, Strowman, when he comes on the TV,
That could be true, too.
Right?
I don't tend to believe that, but that could be true.
So let me ask you this, just
could be true.
hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
I'm Khan, and you're like, no, I want to keep Strowman. You're running the company, and I'm like, but Jimmy, the analytics show every time he comes on, our
That's
viewership
different.
goes by
If I
500.
saw that for myself, and I saw that every single time he's on, it goes down, then no, you don't keep him. But we don't know if that's the case. We don't know if that's the case. Again, I think, and we both expressed it privately that we were surprised that Strowman is gone. So I'm not.
Well, modern
We'll
day
see what
brings up a good
happens.
point. Do you think the needle in the picture, late last year, where he had that syringe, he accidentally had a syringe there. Do you think that could have affected?
You
that
never know,
decision?
and you never know that time that Lesnar punched him for real because he has hurt a few people. Lesnar clocked him. Remember that? Clocked him full force right during the match. So who knows?
Thoughts on Lana getting released?
I'm not surprised. Listen, Lana was one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry, Lana. You're just so horrible in the ring. She was terrible. And she was really meant to be next to her husband's side talking with that awesome accent.
That's why
That's what
this
works.
is the biggest mistake
She
out of the
should
whole
go
group.
back and go with her husband and manage him and talk the way you used to, because when it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. So that's what I
That's my
think. That
opinion on
one,
Lana.
I think that's the biggest mistake
Lana-
of this whole group. That's the
Lana-
one they should have kept.
Lana and Rusev should have been kept that way
Dude,
forever.
why
Because when it works, it works. Did the Sheik ever change his thing? No, leave it alone. It was great.
would
Leave it
Lana have
alone.
worked if you put her in the Hurt Business?
No, Lana needed to be exactly what she was.
Okay.
She was so great at it. Look, when you're that good at something, just leave it be. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And with Lana, they tried a million things, and it just was just ridiculous. What a shame. As for Alistair Kick, that's what Bart calls Alistair Black because that's his one move. He kicks you. You know, I think that he's insanely overrated in the ring. It doesn't mean he's not solid. He is solid. But my God, he basically just kicks everybody.
Why push him then for this last month just to let him go?
I don't know what the hell the story was with that. They clearly had no idea what to do with Alistair Black. You know, when he kept mentioning this dark father of his, I kept thinking to myself, are they going to pull the trigger and put the Undertaker, like, you know, give him a rub to get him as the next dark character or something? They clearly didn't know what they were doing with him. They just let him go. So I don't know. I think it's a great loss? No, because they weren't doing anything with him. But do I think a company like AEW could use him and push him right? Yeah, I do. So that could be pretty interesting. Ruby Riott, whatever, you know, good wrestler, but it wasn't really going anywhere. Santana Garrett, I have even less of an impression than I do. Ruby Riott left somewhat of an impression. And Murphy was a damn good wrestler, but let's face it, he's about as exciting as a bowl of cereal with no milk in it.
See, I think Murphy could have been a mistake.
He was a
I
great
think they
wrestler,
could have
but-
done something with that.
Really? Like what?
Here's my issue with
talk.
But,
I mean-
but here's my issue with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that whole list that you just named?
Yeah. Outside of Strowman,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not-
run to Madison. I'm just using
for
old
any
school
of 'em.
mentality.
I
I
got-
wouldn't
yeah.
run to Madison Square Garden to see any of them.
Of course not.
So
of
hence,
course not.
They go bye-bye.
Right, I got you. I do scratch my head a little bit about Strowman, but again, he is 37 years old.
Now, here's
so-
the funny thing. 802 is talking about Selena Vega being released.
Mm-hmm.
Rumor has it she's coming back.
Why would she come back? She's going to wind up in AEW, probably managing Alistair, her husband, in real life. Like, she should. Sometimes I don't understand why they just don't do what is obvious.
But let me ask you this question, though.
I don't
What makes
get
you
it.
think AEW has that kind of payroll to pay all these
What
people?
makes me think AEW's got the brains to even do the right thing once they get them?
That's
How
a
long
good
did it
point,
take
too.
Miro to finally start beating people down? What was he there, half a year with doing nothing? I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's easy for us to tell them what to do, and write, but I'm pretty confident we could write better than half the shit we see. I'm very confident. Hey, give us a call, Monty and the Pharaoh, 1-800-BITE-ME. What else you got, big guy?
Let me see here.
65 people in the front office. Holy flood. Wow.
Let me just see what
That's
I got.
a lot
here
of
for you,
people,
brother.
Mike.
Dude,
Jeez.
that's more depressing
Hey,
than the
how's
other.
how's our brother from back in the school days? He's still with him, though, right? We'll leave it at that.
He's still with them.
Awesome, because he's a true pro.
I spoke to
Awesome.
him, but you know what?
You're probably nervous.
It's not nervousness. It's upsetting. This is your family,
That's
and people
true.
are
He
getting
probably
let
probably
go.
a ton of his friends.
It's not like
that's rough.
when's my head getting cut off? It's like I've just
Right.
lost my friends that I grew
Right.
up doing all this
Right.
stuff. All right, we'll
Right.
be right back to this commercial break and discuss a little more with Monty and the Pharaoh.
Yeah. The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Jimmy, I gotta take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. First of all, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, guys, before we continue on with the conversation, I mean, Monty and the Pharaoh feel terrible for the wrestlers who lost their job, for the people who have lost their job.
It's funny. I was, we were just in the diner before here. By the way, I love going to the diner before the show. We got to make that a habit. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it.
By the way,
these
Maria
recent-
Davis says happy birthday to me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
very much.
folks. This guy just turned 30. How's he look?
Oh boy.
Not bad
Is
for
my
an
nose
old-
growing? Oy. Anyway.
Go ahead.
No, when we were at the diner before, we were talking about, these recent releases, and I thought about, in the last few years, a few what I consider missteps from Vince. And the subject came up, who would you keep over Strowman that Vince has let go? And it's a weird topic, but I thought it was interesting, and I thought to myself right away, man, oh man. Now, I understand that Strowman's 37, but the guy that I'm going to mention now is 47, 48, getting towards 50 or whatever. I would have kept Chris Jericho over Braun Strowman any day. Any day. Chris Jericho is worth so much more. He's so much. Still has so much to offer. Obviously, he's clearly a magnet for ratings. He's Chris Jericho. What do you think? I would have much rather have held on to Jericho than to pay Strowman the last couple of years, knowing what I know now, seeing what Jericho has done with AEW. They get 1 million views, for their show.
First of all, wait a minute.
I
Don't
think
juice
Strowman's
those
getting 1
views,
million
dude.
views.
Friday night, they had 500,000 people.
Understand. I got that. It was coming off that pay-per-view, right? Well, it was before the pay-per-view. It was the setup for the pay-per-view, which was pretty good, by the way. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool.
Look, man.
But listen, I think Jericho has more value at the age of 47 than Braun Strowman does. I don't think I'm wrong to think that.
Here's what's depressing me, dude, is seriously.
Yeah.
If the WWE sells to
please,
NBC,
don't tell me
Disney,
this. I can't stomach this thought. Go on.
the fun of this whole thing goes away.
It's going to turn into such, I don't even know. It's not going to feel like anything remotely McMahon or WWF or E. I'm really afraid of what will happen when it falls into somebody else's hands. I really am. Be careful what some of you haters wish for.
Well, I will
be very careful.
I will tell you this: with all these firings, if AEW can afford it, you can actually be looking at a legitimate war again.
Yeah, sure.
So for the younger
Well, I
viewers
think-
out there that weren't part of the Monday Night Wars,
Right.
you might be able to experience
Might get something.
what was experienced.
I don't know if-
and
I don't-
it could change the landscape.
Yeah, it could happen, but I don't know if it'll ever happen on the scale it did with those superstars and on that level. But I do think that wrestling is definitely calmed down from huge ratings, and it's settled into this 2 million, 1 million, 2 million world. And the Attitude Era, we lived in the 5 to 7 to 8 to 9 million world. It's a smaller world now with the wrestling. We could see a war again, but I don't think we'll ever see one on that level.
By the way, I saw one of these wrestling experts in one of their shows, and he made maybe the most ridiculous statement ever.
Who's this?
I'm not going to say the guy's name.
Good,
because
I
there's
probably,
so many of them.
I probably can't stand
all right?
them anyway. So,
But he had
Go on.
the gall and the audacity to say,
okay.
why wouldn't you root for AEW? Why would you root against AEW? Why wouldn't you root
I'm not rooting against
for
them.
the underdog?
Why do you automatically have to root for a perceived underdog? By the way, it's perceived. You know, what makes you an underdog? What, Tony Khan's broke? He's not broke. He's got more money than Vince.
Right.
What makes him an underdog? Cut this shit. What is this, Mets Yankees? You're gonna give me that stupid analogy? I've heard somebody say that stupid analogy to me too. The Mets are more fan friendly. The Mets are billionaires too. What are you talking about? They don't give a shit about your family. They just want you to buy tickets to their product.
Well, bro, I'm going to
cut
be
it
honest
out.
with you.
Fan-friendly.
I choose.
None of these professional organizations are fan-friendly.
I choose sides.
Give me a break.
I choose sides. But I
Yeah.
will tell you, if the WWE sells, I'm
Yeah.
not so sure that's a side I'm going to choose anymore.
Oh man, I am not. I don't think I'm rooting. I totally agree, man. I'm not going to be on a reflex level rooting for Disney, WWE,
Right, or NBC.
What? No, hell no, hell no. I'm rooting for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
How about that?
Which I don't
apples?
want to, by the way.
Look, if that's what happens, I'll deal with it when it happens. You know. Ironically, it won't be the McMahons being killed off. It'll be the McMahons killing themselves by selling. Wow, that's sad.
So with all the firings, there
Oy.
are returns.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's name is popped up on Monday Night Raw this Monday, and Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live speculated that it's not accidental, but rather that the Beast Incarnate will be returning to to fight Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam.
Nice.
Thoughts?
We're finally going to get the matchup we want.
Do you think they made the cuts because we're going to get Becky Lynch and Lesnar, and they got to pay them a little extra
That could
scratch?
be. You know what? If that's the deal too, that's a big time fair trade off to me. Becky and Brock.
For Strowman?
Goodbye, all 8 of you, or whatever it was. See ya. Up. Is that the door? Is that your foot? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hell yeah. Lesnar and Becky alone are worth like 10 of those names. They are. They're worth ratings. They're worth buys. They're worth T-shirts. They're worth everything. Like it or hate it, those are facts. Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch are incredibly marketable and over.
Do you think that Ruby Riott, Lana, and
they don't make one
Garrett,
Becky armpit?
No, but what, does that weaken the women's division too much, losing those 3?
No, I don't think so. Because look, at the end of the day, think about those awesome WrestleMania, or even the early days. There was like 4 or 5 superstars. The women's division still can say that they have Charlotte, they have Bayley, they have Sasha Banks. You got Becky Lynch coming back. The women's division's fine. Holy shit, with those 4, they can carry that for the next 5 to 10 years.
Reality
those
check to
4,
everybody.
Those 4 women.
Everybody's expendable. No matter
That's
who
true,
you are,
too.
no matter what you are.
Yeah.
I
mean, if AEW's smart, they'll grab some of those lady wrestlers. They'll grab Ruby Riott because AEW needs all the help.
Henry
they can
407. You know Henry
with the,
407?
I'm not sure. Should I?
I don't know, but he says Pharaoh's on fire.
Oh no, sorry, man. I'm trying to be calm, but they left my meds in the other cabinet. What else you got?
Is the WWE going to sell?
Please tell me no, but what's
your feelings?
Well,
Your gut
recently
Pharaoh feeling.
Well, what actually bugged me was when we had John Arezzi on, and he was like, they're absolutely selling, and that got me nervous. He's been in the business on and off a long time. I trust his gut read. I'm nervous about it. Why would they do this? Why doesn't Vince want Stephanie? What is Stephanie's thinking on this? Doesn't she want to continue to be what her father was? I can't see her going, I don't want to do this.
Maybe
no
don't
more
want to
selling.
maybe
Triple H is probably losing his. Are you kidding me? I went through all of this. I married you. What do you mean you're going to sell the company? I was supposed to be the next Vince McMahon.
Or I'll take those billions of dollars I have and go fucking hang out on the beach.
I think I'll buy Aruba.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, wait a minute.
Aruba.
It rolls right off my tongue.
Or how about there might be a no compete for a couple of years, but how about sell and then open up your own wrestling organization?
Call it what?
Triple H. Triple H Wrestling.
HOG. Howell Grassley. I can't, man.
Dude, I'm sad.
That sounds awful.
I'm fucking sad right now.
That sounds terrible.
So, I know you're not catching any documentaries.
No.
But the Mick Foley, anybody
on
out there who
TV.
saw it, please weigh in. The Mick Foley, which, look, I'm not a fan of Mick Foley. Just never have been.
I am.
Right?
I like Mick.
I know you are.
I am.
Definite Hall of Famer.
I don't think he likes me or you. But
No, well, that's true, too.
I don't think he does.
That's
he
without
wouldn't
a
even.
doubt.
He wouldn't
I
even
know
share,
for a fact he does not like
He
us.
would not share his steak with us at the Jet game.
No, he would not.
You asked him for a piece, and he was like, "All I have are plastic forks. I can't cut you a slice."
He was like,
"That was me."
I'm eating shrimp. Anyway. I'm like, you know
Drinking
what?
out of Mr. Sacco?
How
That was
many
strange.
times can
Yeah.
we hear the Mick Foley story? But I got to tell you, A&E went a totally different way.
Mick Foley.
It was so good
Because-
talking about his depression.
Mick Foley is an interesting dude. That's all there is to it. Love him, hate him. I tend. It's weird. Outside of how he obviously, must feel about Monty and the Pharaoh, us wise asses, who say whatever we want, and to him probably disrespect the business. I love Mick Foley. I thought his book was awesome, but like you said, to start off this conversation, how many times can you hear the Mick Foley story? Bro, after I read his book, I've never cared to know any more. His book was fantastic. Then he wrote a second book. That was good, too.
Well, I want you to, when you get a chance, if
Those
you watch
books are
that
great.
documentary, though,
Have a nice day.
you see a
Read it.
whole
It's great.
nother side of Foley, and I
Okay.
got to tell you, very impressive.
Like what, though? Tell me. Like, what did they go into that made you go, I've never seen this side of Mick?
It talks
What side
about,
was that?
a lot about him growing up.
Okay,
A lot about
that's
him
cool.
growing up, which
I've
was
seen
very
footage of him
cool.
jumping off of his
Right.
house and stuff.
Which,
That's
by
cool.
the way,
That's cool.
I'm not trying to brag, but I was telling my wife,
We
I
used to-
did that shit way, but we
used to-
did that
wait a
way
minute, what'd you
before
say, all right,
that.
without including my neck?
You're right.
What are you?
We jumped off of our roofs many times.
Shit
And we didn't have
out of it.
mattresses, did we?
No,
we had beanbags.
We had stones and rock and tree branches branches going out of the ground. Oops, I dropped you on
But
my
we
oak tree's
literally
branch.
jumped on beanbags, like living room beanbags.
Dude,
Yes.
I remember the ground being very hard. And there
No,
was nothing
when
there.
we jumped off the top of the house, it was off of onto
That was kind
beanbags.
of crazy.
No, stupid.
Where did you get
We
the-
did
Wait a minute,
Superflies
where did you get the beanbags?
from your living room.
You didn't steal those from Cedarhurst paper?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn you did. Well, wasn't
Stop
Rosenberg chasing you down the block?
Stop.
Yeah, my father's gonna get you, and the little dog too. Dude, you don't remember that?
So they talk about Mick
He doesn't
Foley.
remember
They
that.
talk about Mick Foley growing up, then how he gets into wrestling,
Yeah,
and you know how he goes to WCW, but then decides
Cactus.
it's just not for him.
Right.
And he leaves
Right.
that contract to
Yeah.
go to the Independents.
Yes.
It was just very well
Dude,
done.
he did
and
the
then
hard way,
and
man.
then also
Really the hard way,
life after retirement.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Where he's depressed
Oh.
and things like, but then how he finds stuff through Christmas and helping
That's
needy
true.
people. This
He
guy's
does
got a
lot
good
of
soul.
stuff,
He has a
man.
good
He
soul.
I love the fact that he does children's books. I'm sure he's got to go. Why doesn't he like Monty and the Fowl? What did you do?
You know
to
what?
him?
He gives everything to the
Ah, we
needy.
love
I
you,
ask him
Mick.
for.
What's your
Wait a minute, hold on.
problem?
I ask
What?
him for a lousy shrimp, and he won't even give it up.
Dude, he
We're at the
wouldn't
Jet game. We're like, yo, give us a shrimp.
And he wouldn't
Oh.
cut the. And it was like a rare fillet. Those
Yeah.
plastic forks and knives would have cut through.
Exactly.
Why didn't he give you a slice?
What a piece of trash.
I'm telling you, he's mean. You should have thrown him in the dumpster. It could have been a dumpster match.
I don't like you, Mick Foley.
Yeah. Anyway, what?
The week before,
Boy, we told him.
was the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Again, if you didn't catch that,
I'm not
I
catching
think
any
at
of
the
these
end of
things.
that video,
Yeah.
documentary, when his wife tells about the time when he dies, going into Arizona, him not feeling well, and this one's tough, man. But it was like,
It came on quick.
she's like, I understand, because he had just come from the Hall of Fame the night before, and he's like, no, I don't feel well. I need to go to the hospital. She says they walk out of the room, and then she starts crying how she couldn't catch him
Right.
because it was like a oak tree.
He just dropped.
He just dropped. I got to tell you, man, that just literally tore
Yeah, that was.
me up.
Yeah, well, his death tore everybody up. It came out of nowhere the night before he was accepting his nomination to the Hall of Fame. His induction.
Well, speaking of the Ultimate Warrior, we'll be right back after this commercial break where we do our little segment called Head to Head. We love doing these.
Yeah.
And this week, it's the Ultimate Warrior against Sting. Who's going to win this one? We'll be right back.
Boy, oh boy. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Oh, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Yeah, nothing much.
Jimmy, I love this country.
Oh.
I love to buy made in America material. And I love to buy my artwork at TAG, T-A-A-G, Made in America, 14 East Broadway, Port Jefferson, New York, 11717. The shop at the corner. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty DeFaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. Once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us. So, here's our segment, Head to Head.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready?
All right, head to head, the Ultimate Warrior versus Sting. Pharaoh, you want to read the rules, please?
All right, let's take a quick refresher course out there, folks, for the old head-to-head. Category number 1, mic skills. Come on, that's self-explanatory. Can you talk to people or can't you? Number 2, mat skills. Well, think Bret Hart, I guess, or think Rob Van Dam, or think anybody who actually knows how to do a little bit more than an armbar. Yes, folks, mat skills. Number 3, overall influence on the industry. Hey, what you gonna do, brother? Yeah, that's an influence on the industry. Number 4, the back of the baseball card. Oh, what's this? Fred Chicken Stanley hit 220. You can't win a World Series with Fred Chicken Stanley. You got to have something on the back of that baseball card. And number 5.
Wait a minute, what did you just say?
I quoted George Steinbrenner when he got them in the office after losing the 76 World Series to the Reds, and he told Billy Martin with a straight face, Fred Chicken Stanley hit 220. You don't win a World Series with a shortstop named Fred Chicken Stanley. So they brought in Bucky Dent, and the rest is history.
You are classic, bro.
Anyway,
You are classic.
So on to number 5. The category number 5 is the it factor. You know, like the CM Punks of the world or the Chris Jerichos or, actually a couple of these guys that we got going right now. So, Mike, take it away.
I have a feeling this one could get ugly, my friend.
Oh, yeah, I think it already did at the diner. Come on.
All right, so exactly. So our first contestant, the Ultimate Warrior.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ultimate Warrior, born James Bryan Hellwig, 1959 till, unfortunately, April 8th, 2014. Ultimate Warrior, of course, most remembered for defeating Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6, I do believe, for the world title and uniting and having the Intercontinental title at the same time. Of course, we also remember him tearing out and destroying Honky Tonk Man at the first SummerSlam in '88.
Yes.
Ultimate Warrior, one of the all-time greats.
And by the way, early reviews from the people watching out there, the Monty and the Pharaoh family, Sting looks like...
Look at you, going to have to choke on that cheeseburger.
I know,
Okay,
I'm
let's
getting a
keep
little
going.
upset here.
Woo! Al Ric Flair does that! Big deal!
Contestant number 2.
Alrighty, folks, number 2, known as the icon named Sting! American professional wrestler, actor, hey, former bodybuilder. Wait a minute, wasn't Warrior also?
Yeah, why didn't you say that?
I don't know, apparently.
Because your
I'm
mind
already-
is skewed.
I'm already biased with my
Exactly,
liberal
with your-
WCW
That's right,
opinion.
you liberal.
Can I tell you about John Tolos, you ignorant fool? If it wasn't from 1974, you clearly know nothing!
Go home and watch 350 Days.
Yeah,
right?
well, I would, but I only have 349 to go. Alrighty, so Sting, the legend, okay? And also 2 different kinds of legends. We had Surfer Sting, main event, multiple-time world champion, and of course one of my favorites, the Crow Sting, multiple many-time world champion. I think you could count it up to like 6 WCW world titles, World Heavyweight International title, NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and then he moves over to TNA and helps Jarrett actually give Vince a little bit of a tiny migraine for the next 10 years or so with the TNA World title and the first ever TNA Hall of Fame inductee. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sting.
Wait a minute, that's not good.
What? What did I do now?
Do that better.
Oh, I thought I did that great.
No, it should
what am I
be
supposed to-
this.
This is Sting!
There you go.
I did it when I started it. I gotta do it again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was overkill.
All right, so the first category, my friend,
All
mic
right.
skills,
All
Pharaoh.
right. Well, where are we? I don't know. Does that continue on the next page, or do I have to go backwards? Let's go backwards.
The first one is mic skills. What do you
My
got?
skills. All right. Well, okay. Here's the deal. Were either one of them absolutely outstanding talkers? Not necessarily if you're talking about the world of Ric Flair or whatever, but I tend to lean towards Sting being a better talker than Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior, both of them were very excitable in their promos, and they were good at transmitting that excitement. So at least they were both able to do that well. That I'll give them. But my God, the Warrior never made any sense. Talking about rocket ships and cosmos and yodels and ring dings. Do you remember those promos? Tasty cakes?
Absolutely.
I don't know what the hell he was talking
So
about.
I'm going to
half the
ask
time.
you this, Pharaoh.
You know, but I'm leaning towards Sting.
Okay, so you're
vote
leaning.
as you will,
oh no, but let's discuss this. Mm-hmm. You're leaning towards Sting.
Yeah.
I want you to please tell me one
can't.
Sting
I
interview
can't.
that you go, I
There's
remember
the-
this.
As I said before, neither one of them have a I hate you Hulk Hogan moment or that doofus son-in-law moment from Punk or one of those. They don't have them. Neither
How
one of them have
about
them.
one man's heart
That's the
beats
night
one
before
last
he
beat?
died.
How about one man's
That's
lungs
the night before he
have one last
died.
breath?
That's the night before he died.
How about WrestleMania
That's a
6?
very unique
the Hulk
situation.
Hogan
I
rocket
don't-
ship airplane
No,
interview.
it's not enough to give me goosebumps and go, oh my God, what a promo. No.
But okay, so my question to you is this:
Overall, I think 20 years of Sting delivering main event promos outweighs Ultimate Warrior's ramblings. That's what I think. And there you have it. So I'm leaning towards Sting.
I'm going towards Warrior.
All right.
Wow, this is the first time we're really not agreeing
Well,
on a
how
certain
dare
thing.
you, first of all. Second of all, go on.
Well,
What do you got
really,
next?
it doesn't matter what Monty thinks anyway. It's the
doesn't.
Pharaoh segment.
What?
So.
It's head-to-head. It's not Pharaoh to mirror looking
Okay.
at Pharaoh. What?
So right now we're split.
Okay.
Matt
that's fine.
skills.
Whoa, Sting. He's better.
Can you explain why?
Well, because the Warrior was not a very good wrestler in the ring. I mean, he just wasn't. His whole gimmick was flying out to the ring and hopefully, like Goldberg, being done within a few minutes. Sting wrestled some great matches over the years. He had awesome programs with Flair. He had awesome programs with Joe in TNA, Angle in TNA. Ever see his matches with AJ in TNA? They won Match of the Year. So Sting could go. He's
So
serviceable
Sting
at the very
against
least.
all those guys that you mentioned.
Right.
Of all those, which was the best match that Sting had, in your opinion?
Oh man, that's probably Sting and Flair had
Okay.
some real dandies.
The Sting and Flair
It doesn't
beat
compare
Hogan
to the
Warrior?
fame of that one match, but again, the career overall, the in-ring ability. Sorry, the meteor in the sky does not defeat the 20 years of quality, that Sting put up. I'm going with Sting.
Does Flair, Sting meet Honky Tonk Man, Warrior? Does it have the same meaning?
Not to me. But again, it's an isolated incident. Look, I'm not taking Warriors 2 matches and putting them over Sting's entire career. I'm not doing it.
I'm going to go with you on this, Sting, for Matt skills.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with
I'm
you.
not doing it.
All I'm saying is there is
He's
an
a better
argument.
wrestler.
There is an argument
He's just a
from a
better
Warrior,
wrestler.
from a Warrior fan that may
you
think
can
that.
say that, but from a simple perspective of capability in the ring, Sting's better.
Okay.
The end.
Overall influence in the industry, my friend.
I go with Sting. Again, I go with Sting. For multiple reasons. Sting.
By the
was
way,
able to
according to people out there, it looks like Sting is just killing it right
Well,
now.
I think he should. I think Sting proved on multiple occasions, and he taught good lessons to people coming up. He taught that you can reinvent yourself. Your career is not over when you've run the course with a gimmick. If you're truly good, you can do something else and do it well, and he did that.
Henry 407, Pharaoh's still on fire.
He was always
That's why he's the star of the show.
He was always a great company man, an excellent leader in the locker room. All the kids looked up to him, and they still do today. Also, and I said this to you in the diner, and you did agree with me on this, he has pretty much been the main event face of the one small migraine that Vince has had since Vince bought WCW and ECW. All these years, it was Sting who was in TNA. And eventually, because Sting was in TNA, you got a guy like Kurt Angle going there. Because Sting gave TNA validity, you had young guys like Joe and AJ grooming great careers under that company's watch because of an icon and a face of a company like a Sting. And now here's Sting again, 20 years after Vince has won the war, wrestling in AEW. Sting's impact behind the scenes compared to Warrior, who taught wrestlers how not to behave, to not hold Vince McMahon up, to not hold the promoter up right before you're going to do a match and say, give me so-and-so money or I'm not doing it. Okay? To never, ever seem to care about the business and come across that way. I am not trying to bash the Ultimate Warrior. I don't have to. The story speaks for itself. So that's the deal with that. The greater impact behind the scenes and to wrestlers today who look up and want to be like someone, take a look at Darby Allin. The winner of this category, in my mind, is Sting.
All right. So I'm going to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
So I heard everything you said. Mm-hmm. So if there was an ultimate enemy, maybe is the word, or give me another not terminology on it, but a Vince problem. Okay, yes, Sting was that main guy that hung around long enough. Here's my issue. Sting was never the man, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, the whole time,
I can
his
see you saying
20-year
that.
career, he was never the man.
Right. I can see that.
I felt that the Ultimate Warrior, in his short stint,
He was.
he
For about a year.
had so much more
1 year.
influence on this industry
I don't believe that
than
for 1
Sting.
second.
You give some valid points. Tenure,
No.
length,
Warrior did not leave the influence on this business that Sting has and still continues to do to this day. However, yes, it is true, for that 1 or so year, maybe 2-year period, Warrior was on top of the world right next to Hulk Hogan. And he can say that. But again, that meteor in the sky, that Joe Namath that came and went, does not outweigh the greatness and the longevity of Sting's career. I can't do it, and I won't. So to me, Sting so far is up 3-0.
Edgil Sloan says, and this is a good point, Sting helped carry a major company through 88 through 2001.
Very true.
Warrior helped Hogan for about 3 years. Sting all the way.
Exactly.
Great comments. I see
agree.
you're on the Pharaoh side. All I'm saying, in my opinion,
Warrior was great.
Okay,
It's
influence
not
on the
bad.
industry.
Right.
Warrior, in his short stint, accomplished more and reached greater heights than Sting ever reached.
He reached a greater height, but he didn't accomplish more as a body of work.
All right, so we're split on this. So right now you got Sting, 3 categories. It looks like a blowout. I've got Warrior 2-1. Back of the baseball card.
Sting.
Why?
Just multiple championships everywhere he went. He was also voted the greatest United States champion in the history of the belt.
Henry 407 says Farrell, mic drop Monty. Good points as always.
No, he's bigger than I am. I don't. Besides, I've been reading a lot.
The
of
reason why I
lately.
watch a show. Well, that's the reason why I'm part of the show, Jimmy. Do the mic drop. Be like, boom. There's nothing wrong with that. Boom.
Dropping the mic and drop
Sting.
it. No,
Boom.
I drop it on my foot.
All right, go ahead.
Where were we?
Back
I
of the
don't even know where we
baseball
are.
card. Back of the baseball card.
Again, I just believe that it's Sting. Sting's just so many championships in multiple companies. Again, voted the greatest United States heavyweight champion. The guy's at the top of the card for 20+ years.
So basically, Farrow is right now has Sting 4-0,
destroying him.
and this is the first sweep that's ever happened on head to head.
Well,
I'm gonna go with
the back of the baseball
back of the baseball card, Sting by far. Okay, that's not even a competition. So I got a 2-2. You've got on a
4-0.
sweep. People are agreeing with you.
All right, hit me.
The
What's
it factor.
Don't hit me, I mean.
The it factor.
The it factor. Well, folks, this is where I do change my course. The it factor is the Ultimate Warrior. Again, this rocket that I keep referring to that soared through the sky for those three or so years, 88 to 91 or so, this rocket was magnificent. This was a super freaking star. People from my job wanted to see Hogan Warrior. I was actually the only one in the room that night, by the way, when the pin, came to 3 and Hogan had lost the match. I was the only one that wasn't happy in that room. Everybody else was jumping up and down. And
By the way, not to interrupt, I just got to laugh. Modern day Warrior says Farrell must have had energy drink before all this, and I wrote
had a French onion
That's
soup.
exactly what I said. He had soup.
Yeah, I had soup.
All right, go ahead.
Dude, I was
Go
born
ahead.
hyper.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God!
Go ahead.
Everybody
Go
thinks
ahead.
I'm always on something, and I'm on nothing.
Go ahead. I
This
don't
is
mean to cut you
terrible.
off. You're really
Oy,
rolling.
oy, oy.
You're really rolling.
Anyway, when WrestleMania 6, when Hogan lost the match, everybody in the room exploded. Everybody's thrilled, and I'm standing in the corner, and no one would listen to me. I says, "He's not the future of this business. He's like a shooting star. He's going to come and go." I said, "The real winner right there is standing right there. It's Hogan." I said, "Hogan's still the face of this business." And everybody was like, "Oh, you're crazy, Bob. You're just mad he lost." I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, Warrior's going to fade, man. And no one believed me. But, hey, history is spoken. So
you've got it 4-1 Sting, still a blowout.
yeah.
I'm going it factor with the Warrior. I've got it Warrior winning 3-2, but unfortunately for me, the rules state that if one overlaps the other, one has a more differential.
Right.
The
Sting
winner
wins.
is Sting.
Yeah. He doesn't win by that much, though. You made it closer than I did. That's
Well,
for sure.
again, the fans seem to think Sting.
Hey,
a lot,
it
by a
killed
serious
me doing
note.
it because the Warrior is a great, but I mean, I just feel like Sting has the body of work. That's pretty much it. Sting was great for a very long time.
I was never a Warrior fan per se,
Right.
but I could never disregard
No.
what he
No.
did
WrestleMania
for
6
this industry.
WrestleMania 6 alone is one of the great moments in the history of the sport, and I don't give a crap what the indie marks who hate Vince's company say. That is a classic forever moment.
And I will say
that
this.
was a good contest.
If you watch
anyway.
the A&E documentary, Sting was completely different from Warrior. Steve
Mm-hmm.
and Jim were two different people.
Can you clear it up for me too? Because I was a little mistaken. Who
Go ahead.
left who in that partnership?
So, Jim,
Because they were
Ultimate
paired together.
Warrior.
For those who don't know, in the very beginning of their careers, the Ultimate Warrior and Sting, before they were the Ultimate Warrior and Sting, were together as rookies coming up. So what caused their breaking up?
So Warrior didn't like kowtowing to the older wrestlers. He felt he had his own vision. Sting wanted to just make his way through the business.
So Warrior's playing individual.
Warrior broke
already.
away. He went
Already
to
he's playing.
WCCW, became Dingo Warrior, said
Texas.
goodbye, Steve.
Right.
Steve goes off to become Sting in WCW.
Right.
And they go their separate ways.
Right. Right.
Again, clearly, the fans think that Sting had the better career and is the more recognizable. Again, for me, it's very close. I'm going with Warrior, but again, I usually defer to the Pharaoh, so I will at this point. So again, the winner is Sting.
contest.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back after this commercial break to close the show.
Woo!
In the mood for a freshly roasted cup of coffee? www.offtherailscoffeeroasters.com.
Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design.
Jimmy, I just got the best hookup on tickets.
Fill me in.
I went to www.seatslinks.com and ordered the best tickets with the best prices.
Call 718-676-0504. SeatsLink, the complete ticket experience.
Tell them Charles sent you. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty and Farrell, only seen here or produced here out of Indie Music TV, here in Ronkonkoma, New York. Jimmy, this Saturday, June 5th, we have a special show at 3:30 in the afternoon. We will be doing the history of the WWF/WWE Tag Team titles.
/WWWF.
Good point.
That's true too.
Please give the fans what we're basically going to cover on this history of the.
We're gonna try to
prestigious title.
We're gonna try to comb over the history, which I think started technically in 1971 and has been running for the last 50 or so years, and just try to break it down for you, the history, an overcap and a review, and then try to nail a definitive list of the 10 greatest tag teams in the history of the WWF, and we're already having fits as we've been discussing.
By the way, I want to laugh about something. I didn't tell you this, but we announced this on our social media that we're doing a special show.
Yeah. Okay.
The WWF comes out with their top 25 greatest tag teams.
Here we go again.
Literally a day after we
Here
announced
we
it.
go
I'm not saying that's
again.
what they were looking at, but it's like,
yes,
come
they
on.
were.
already.
Would you stop it already? We already know from certain that they're, yeah.
Maria, thank you.
really?
Thank you for joining us as usual.
Oh, my God.
At 5 o'clock, we have former WWF Tag Team Champion.
On that note,
In a very rare interview,
Extremely.
Jules Strongbow in studio. Guys, don't miss this. Make it a
nice.
block out 3 hours of your day. You're going to enjoy the tag team show, and you're going to love the Jules Strongbow show. I mean, look, we grew up, Chief J. Strongbow, and then when he brought, was his nephew, right?
He brought Jules in.
Jules in, yeah.
And the next thing you know, yep, they were part of that crop of Fuji and Saito, the Samoans, the Strongbows, Gurria and Martel, the Moondogs. That was you know what? That was a pretty damn good time period for tag team wrestling.
It was a great time period
I
for
think it gets a
wrestling
little,
in general.
Gurria and Martel, it gets a little underrated there. You know, that whole
Absolutely.
that whole group. Pretty
And,
impressive.
Then we have our Thursday show again, which I
right.
believe is the 10th. Matt, if you could throw up the banner. The Tonga Kid is in studio.
Yeah, I got a question about
That's
that.
next Thursday, dude. Tonga
Matt,
Kid.
are you showing the Tonga Kid billboard?
I'm looking for it.
He's Matt's having another colada back there. What's going on?
All right, go ahead.
Lately, he's been doing. I've been seeing straws and rolled up dollar bills.
By the
Is there
way,
something going on back there?
Gregory Krug says out there, while Samoans have to be part of the tag team.
See,
Can't give it away,
already-
brother. Can't give it away.
Pressure's on already. If we don't put
Can't
the
give it away.
Samoans
You
on,
gotta watch. I
this is
think
rough.
you will enjoy this. This will be good.
I tell you what, some of you guys, if you choose to, go and take a look at all the champions over all the years and realize what we're trying to tackle here. It'll drive you nuts. You'll see.
And again, you know
Yeah.
what? There's some guy. I mean, literally, I'm having something to eat with Pharaoh, and I tell him one tag team, which I'm not going to reveal,
Yeah.
that I said's in my top 10. He about friggin' lost his
lost
shit
my-
with me,
I
man.
went ballistic. That's like you saying Shep is your favorite.
Todd,
team. You don't
Jules
even like the
Strongbow is this Saturday at 5 o'clock. You said you worked out with him for Don Owens in the 80s. That's awesome, man. So at 3:30, we're doing the history of the WWE, WWF,
Right.
WWF tag team titles, and then Jules is in studio about a half an hour after
I
that.
think Matt did put up the
Tonga
artwork for
Kid?
the Tonga Kid.
Go ahead.
I only had one question. I
Go.
don't think the fans are looking at it anymore. But why is my chest so hairy?
Dude, I didn't
Jeff!
even realize that
You
is a
look at-
hairy
look at
chest.
that. What is that? I'm like, what am I? Am I
Ew!
on top of the Empire State Building?
That
What
shit
the-
goes right
what
to
am I-
your groin section.
Dude, I look like.
Ew! I didn't even notice that. That's
But
gross.
I look like Cornelius from the Planet of the
What
Apes.
the hell, bro?
I don't know. And what's with the Redskins logo?
That's for
You got Jules Strongbow coming in, and you got me wearing a Redskins logo.
Well, that I
now
find
I get all
hilarious.
the heat. Jeff!
and then
Jeff's our artist, folks, in case...
after that Thursday, the following show we have
How you doing,
at
Jeff?
10 a.m. We've got Magnum TA in studio, which is going to be sick. And Matt, I just covered it with Matt today. I got a call. I didn't even hit you with this, Pharaoh. And fans, you're going to be excited for this.
Okay.
So we had John Arizzi on last Thursday.
Yes.
If anyone watched the show, John was not happy with some of Monty and the Pharaoh's questioning. Look, man, look, guys, we're respectful
what a
out there.
shock.
We are respectful out there. 802 Whip Pump for Tonga Kid too. We're respectful out there, but also we ask hard questions politely.
Yeah.
You have a right on the show not to answer them, but I think the people realize when you come on the show, get ready to answer some questions.
Yeah.
So
enough.
Arizzi wasn't happy with our questioning when it came to Vince McMahon and the Ring Boys scandal.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Lee Cole wrote me.
Ooh, okay.
He was not happy with our questioning.
What did you do now? Go on.
So Lee Cole asked if we could do a special show after Magnum TA where he's going to reveal some untold things that happened to his brother Tom
Okay.
in hopes to straighten us out.
To straighten us out?
Yes.
Oy, I don't feel like I need straightening out, but okay, go on.
Okay, first of all, he says he loves the show.
Okay.
He says it's the best wrestling show, not on
Yeah, right.
YouTube, not on Facebook. He said in the entire nation.
Okay.
Just like Bill Alfonso said. And he
Right.
says he feels a responsibility to come on Long Island's
That's-
#1
that's
pro
more like- that's
wrestling
more like it.
broadcast
Okay.
and clear the air because
That's
he did not agree. Again, I'm not going to put you in there. You were upset with Bruno and Superstar, as we both are.
We both are.
I said, as we both are. Okay,
Oy.
but he really didn't like my questioning on. He felt I was defending Mel Phillips a bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So is he coming on? Or no?
Mr. Big says Cornelius Farrow and Cheetah Monty.
Thanks a lot, Mr.
Thanks, Big. But
Get your
anyway,
hands off of you.
so
stinking,
anyway-
dirty, filthy, rotten ape. Ay.
Lee Cole's going to come on. We're going to do a special show where he's going to address this
Okay.
untold.
I like Lee Cole.
Untold.
He was a great guest.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Doesn't mean that we have to agree with everything that he says.
Hell no.
All right. So I mean,
Oh,
that's
well,
it.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
think
if you're
Bruno
going to
and
defend, if you're
Billy
going to
were
defend Superstar
sour
Graham
grapes.
and Mel Phillips, and that's what you do that.
Yeah, I'm not defending Mel Phillips. Mel Phillips, I can't stand Mel Phillips.
I think he did. Anyway, after that,
You did. You asked this
Huh?
silly...
Matt, did you hear that whisper in the microphone? That wasn't
this
me.
guy is such a troublemaker, an instigator, a masturbator. What else?
Masturbator. Anyway, I don't want to run the show too
porn
long.
hub?
And then we have a special Monday show. What date is Monday show with Baby Doll?
That's another one. Why is Baby Doll's hand on your member? Who's up?
Someone's
Jeff,
got to put their hand
the
on my member.
artwork is just...
Dude, I am. What date? Monday.
Where's that hand?
Monday,
It's down there, isn't it?
4 p.m. Let's get that banner up. Baby doll.
That hand. Let's get the hand
In
up.
studio.
The hand is too low.
Baby doll in studio. And then we also have the job man coming in the Thursday after the Tonga Kid.
that, Harry?
That's Harry. The job man will be in. This guy's got some stories from the AWA. Dude, there's so much good stuff coming on. I'm going to ask you guys, please join us. We are so excited.
We're loaded here.
And by the way, we
are
want to
loaded.
thank Indie Music TV. We want to thank the greatest producer of all time,
Matty Ice.
for everything he does. We cannot wait for these things. That's right, Greg. Baby Doll. Her and Toli were amazing. I cannot wait for Baby Doll, dude. Huge Baby Doll fan.
Oh, yeah.
So just to recap, this Saturday, history of the WWE tag team titles. Jules Strongbow in studio. The following Thursday, the Tonga Kid. Then we have the following Thursday, we've got the Job Man calling in studio. Then we got Magnum TA, and then we're going to title it Lee Cole Reveals All Special Show.
Okay.
And then we finish off with Baby Doll, baby.
Nice.
And you know what?
We're busy.
We're working on something really big. Really big, if you understand what I'm saying. Final words, Pharaoh.
Well, folks, if you enjoy Monty and the Pharaoh.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Mr. Big said, I'm sorry.
What?
Live from Broadsville, Pennsylvania. Mr. Big's wrestling organization, Monty and the Pharaoh, will be doing play-by-play and a special intermission show live on the 26th out of Pennsylvania. We will be sharing links. I've got to have a meeting with Mr. Big. 802, I didn't say it. I didn't say a word. Anyway, final words.
For all of you who watch every week and love Monty and the Pharaoh and let us come into your homes, I want you to join me in wishing a very happy birthday to the main man, my partner, Mr. Monty.
Thank you, sir.
We love you all. We will see you again in a matter of a couple of days on Saturday. You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh, and until Saturday, later.
June 26th, Pennsylvania, 3:30.
Woo!